terrorists in the Mideast. Dead enders like Charlie Parker. All right, it's that time of the week. It's the third hour of the show. You know what that means. Fridays.
Whenever the laws of any state are broken, a duly authorized organization swings into action.
Police Blotter Facts Friday. All week long, we ask you to send in your funny stories or items for your local daily or weekly newspaper. It could be a standalone story. It could be from the police column. They call it, some papers call it the police log. Others call it the police blotter. Whatever it is, a funny story involving the local constabulary, local, national, international. Send it to grace@howiecarrshow.com, grace@howiecarrshow.com, or you can still fax them to us if you want. Our fax number is 857-284-8864. And at this time, every Friday afternoon, Grace reads the funniest stories of the week, and the two best entries, in our opinion, get a nice prize. What do they get this week, Grace?
They will get a awesome t-shirt, a Buy American, Support America t-shirt in honor of sticking it to Amazon.
Yes, indeed. Good.
All right, Howie, are you ready for the runners-up, sir?
Yes, I'm ready for the runners-up.
Man arrested in Utah after skateboarding naked in front of children.
It's pretty nippy this time of year in Utah, isn't it?
That headline took a turn at the end.
West Valley City, Utah. Elvis Sabanagic, who's 29.
His name is Elvis?
Elvis, yes.
Okay. Elvis, he was a flying Elvis.
Oh, yeah, he was flying. This happened at a skate park where about 30 to 40 people were present, including some children as young as 6 years old. Sabanagic arrived at the skate park fully clothed and then disrobed. That's the scary part. He had marijuana, a lighter, and tinfoil molded into the shape of a pipe in his possession.
Lighter. He wanted to give him a hunk of burning love.
Exactly. Okay, Quebec couple fined after woman found walking partner on a leash after curfew.
Wait a second. After curfew, the people who turned him in should have been turned in themselves. How dare they? This is why we have care and snitch lines in all states and provinces.
Quebec's new curfew inspired some creative rule breaking this past weekend. The province's 8 p.m., Howie. That's pretty early, even for you.
No, it is. It's very early. Didn't Janet Mills in Maine say that they had to put in a curfew at, I think, 9 o'clock, saying because people tend to get careless as the night goes on. Why is that, Governor Mills?
Well, you were mad when Palm Beach had a curfew at like 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's now 1 a.m., yeah.
And that still doesn't sit well with you, even though we all know you're not out at 1 a.m.
I don't like the idea of curfews. When I was imprisoned at Deerfield Academy back in the 1960s, I didn't like the idea of a curfew. Why would I suddenly endorse them after all these years?
You're right. Police reported a slew of tickets and fines issued over the weekend, including 200 tickets alone on Saturday night for people found breaking curfew. A couple.
Do they not understand that even in Quebec, what is French for date night number 2?
I don't know.
That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
How dare they shut down date number 2 in the province of Quebec?
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? That's what. Doesn't that mean something?
It's some kind of song from the 70s or 80s.
A couple who determined that walking your dog is roughly equivalent to walking your adult male human partner on a leash are in trouble. So they had a rule that was, only emergency situations, only essential situations are allowed. And what is essential is walking your dog, because the dog's got to go. So this woman figured, okay, I'll just put my boyfriend on a leash. And then when she was stopped, she said that she was just walking her dog. And you know how much she was fined, Howie? This is the craziest part.
How much?
Each person, including the dog, the boyfriend, and the girl, each received a ticket for $1,546. The curfew.
That seems a bit excessive.
The 8 p.m. curfew is set to last until February 8th.
Because then the COVID virus is already announced it's going to leave Quebec. Where will the virus go after 8 o'clock when it leaves Quebec on February 8th? Will it go to like New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Ontario? Where will it go?
It's a really good question. Covered in blood, man in his underwear attacks Nashua police officer.
Covered in blood. Okay. What's this guy's name?
This guy's name is Sebastian Corneau.
Sebastian Corneau. Okay. Well, how did he come to be covered in blood?
Well, a 26-year-old man allegedly attacked a city police officer and sprayed him multiple times with the officer's pepper spray. Saturday morning at a Motel 6, Sebastian Corneau was outside of the motel office and covered in dried blood.
How early Saturday morning?
That's a very good question. It just says Saturday morning. It doesn't.
Was Sebastian Corneau checked into the Motel 6 with Mrs. Corneau by any chance?
It says he was possibly under the influence and dressed only in his underwear. Sebastian Corneau outside of the motel office and covered in dried blood. Authorities attempted to bring Corneau into the lobby of the motel when once inside, he allegedly attacked and assaulted a police officer, according to a news release. During the struggle, Corneau obtained the officer's OC spray, that's pepper spray, and sprayed the officer with it multiple times. At one point, Corneau took possession of the officer's baton as well. And he started
That's embarrassing. The guy is drunk at a Motel 6 in the early morning hours, or allegedly drunk. And he overpowers the cop and gets his pepper spray in his billy club.
Do we have a sound for pepper spray? I know we have one for a taser, but oh, thank you. Yeah, I knew there was something. Port St. Lucie police arrest man for drugs he tried to claim were baking ingredients.
I mean, if you want to get
I'm saying, you can
make that argument.
If you could put you could put oregano in a meatloaf and then you bake it, right? Why can't you put weed?
It wasn't weed, it was meth. Have you ever baked with meth? Jethro Genius.
No, you put that in.
Bake meth?
Wait. You take donuts and then instead of coating them with confection or sugar, you coat them with meth.
See, I don't want to sound naive.
Always thinking about donuts.
I know. How do you work that into every conversation? I don't want to sound naive, but is that the consistency of meth? Is it powdery?
I just assume you could crush it up. I thought it was kind of a little bit more like sugar that's been out in a damp
like rock
area.
Candy.
It's more like rocky sugar. But I'm sure you could
chewable glass shards.
It would be like the jelly donuts where they have the little pieces of sugar, where it's granulated.
207 says the guy in the skateboarder, Elvis showed his pelvis.
Oh, God.
That's pretty good.
Okay, so this guy's name is Jethro Genius.
What? You sure it wasn't Jethro Bodine?
No, it was Jethro Genius. He informed police officers Genius informed police officers that the bag was his and the two substances were sugar and a bag of cornstarch.
That's what I said. Sugar.
Yeah, you're right. And a bag of cornstarch to bake a cake. And then once they actually got him into the jail, they tested it for meth. He was charged with trafficking. I don't know how to say this. Phenethylimes.
Psilocybin. I'll bet it is.
10 grams or more. So it was a good amount of sugar.
When was the last time? When was the last time you put cornstarch in a cake?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not.
That was the first problem with his ridiculous story.
I'm no Julia Childs, but I don't think that really adds up. Rare 7-year-old crocodile found sunbathing outside Florida home. This is Punta Gorda.
70-year-old?
Yeah.
Crocodile.
How did they know? Did he give him his driver's license or what? How do they know how old he was?
Must have been a saltwater crocodile.
So, okay, Taylor, is this, once again, I'm going to sound naive, but is this a thing where crocodiles are more rare than alligators?
In Florida, absolutely.
Yeah, they're alligators. There are alligators everywhere in Florida, but crocodiles not so much.
An American crocodile that's believed to be around 70 years old was recently found catching some rays while lounging on a Florida woman's floating dock. A newspaper reported that the woman initially thought that the large alligator lurking in the canal behind her Punta Gorda home was an alligator. It wasn't until the reptile emerged from the water that she realized it was actually a 10 to 15 foot croc. Officers, they arrested him, the crocodile.
When you go through police academy in Florida, do they teach you how to distinguish between an alligator and a crocodile? And do they also include in that exam a caiman? A caiman is another kind of alligator.
Yeah, South American kind of alligator.
Grand Cayman Islands, Grace. That's a good place for it's a sunny place for shady people to drop money off. Stevie Flemmy used to have some bank accounts down in the Grand Cayman Islands. That's how I learned what a caiman was.
But Taylor, that's a very good point, because this is not a good looking.
They're ugly.
Yeah, no, he's not a good looking,
mean looking
crocodile. But I agree with Howie. I don't know how they knew he was 7 years old. There must be a way.
7 or 70?
70.
What was his name, by the way?
Well, she named it George. The lady who
George the crocodile?
I feel as though that's her right, because she found him and he was on her dock. So George the crocodile. Drunk Florida man arrested for allegedly stealing floating
That's redundant.
Bar. Howie, that's mean. Don't disrespect Florida men. You're in Florida enjoying their state. A drunk Florida man was arrested after he was caught operating a floating tiki bar that was reportedly stolen. Agents from the Coast Guard's Key West station found the man on the stolen tiki hut near Hawks Channel off the coast of the Florida Keys. "Don't drink and boat," they wrote. The man appeared intoxicated and was taken into custody by officers from Florida's Fish and Wildlife.
He was humming "Wasting Away" in Margaritaville.
But Howie, you know what the amazing thing is? So Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, they're dealing with the 7-year-old crocodile, and then probably in the same weekend or around the same month at least, they're dealing with people on tiki floats. It's like they have too much under one branch.
You know that guy
Can I get me a floating tiki bar here, please?
That guy is just lucky that that George the crocodile didn't decide to come onto his floating tiki boat, whatever it is.
Well, Howie, you'll be happy to know
because then he could have ordered a croctail.
Ooh, very good, Taylor. There's the picture in the New York Post of the officers, bringing the tiki hut boat back to land.
Yeah.
There's 2 of them on this tiki boat in the middle of the ocean, and you know what? They have their masks on.
Oh, God.
And Howie, our 2 winners that are coming up, they're both local stories.
Did I enter one of them, Grace?
Yes, Howie. I'm going to send you a T-shirt. You did. You entered and you won.
I only sent in one today, and I hadn't heard it in this segment, but it's a good one. All right, we'll be right back. My friends at Eden Pure are extending their New Year's sale, but you need to act while you can. You can get the Thunderstorm air purifier at the lowest price offered to my listeners with code word Howie. The Thunderstorm is available for under $90 and shipping is free. Supplies are limited, so this sale won't last much longer. The Thunderstorm is a small device you can hold in your hand like I'm doing right now and plug into the wall to purify the air from any odor. This could be pet odor, kitchen smells, tobacco, or that damp smell in your basement. No filters are needed. Dr. Matt swears by this thing. He bought one for his son because his son has what Dr. Matt, the vet, calls a stinky cat. No more problems with the stinky cat's odors now that Dr. Matt gave his son a little Thunderstorm. I've seen much more expensive comparable units in doctors' offices and have asked myself, why didn't they order the Thunderstorm? The Thunderstorm takes up no floor space and is quiet. Take advantage of this extended sale and experience for yourself what the listeners are raving about. Go to EdenPure.com and put in code word Howie. That's EdenPure.com, code word Howie. Shipping is free. I'm Howie Carr.